So, Esteban, thank you for being on the show, brother. Been wanting to ask you on, and welcome to the show.
Thank
Glad,
you. Happy to
yeah,
be here.
brother. Awesome,
I
brother.
always, I always
Yeah,
wanted to be famous.
that's been a long time. Yeah, no, it's been a long time, like we said. But I wanted to, as I mentioned over the phone, I wanted to hear your story. Like, I think the first time I met you was, and correct me if I'm wrong, was it? I think it was at a festival, or maybe I met you through Mauricio. But this was many, many years ago, and I would see you at just like the Cuban festivals, and you were at that
Yeah,
time,
everywhere.
yeah, everywhere. You were really just dancing, and you didn't. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't necessarily have a school or teaching as much as you are today. Is that correct? Or
No, what I've been doing this for a living since 2006. It's just
okay,
the nature of how I did that kind of changed. Because at the beginning I was doing mainly private lessons and a couple of group classes a week for a dance
right,
studio, right? Then
right,
after that, I was working for a dance studio. Then after that, I moved and I started being independent.
right.
But I was
Like,
doing the same format, like one or two group class a week, and then mostly private lessons. We're talking
right,
about like 20, 30 private lessons a week.
right.
And
Nice.
after that, then I changed that format. Then I started focusing on the group classes. That's when
Right.
it looked like I was teaching more and everything because I got more group classes. And then I just stopped doing private lessons altogether.
Nice, nice. So, dude, tell me. I want to hear how you got into salsa. What's your story? How did it start for you?
Well, I finished high school. I'm from Argentina, right?
Right. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, right. So I finished high school.
Yeah.
I was about 17, 18 at the time. Then my sisters were living here in the
Okay.
US. So they invited me to come over, right? So after deciding to come over, I came over here. I didn't speak the language. I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt a little, didn't know how to fit in. You leave all your friends behind. So
Right.
uh, my sister took me to a salsa club. This was back in 1998. And
Okay.
then that was kind of the place that I kind of felt a little bit more comfortable because, people who speak Spanish. I didn't know how to dance though, but that's what kind of got me in just meeting people and so on. So
Which club was that?
that was back in Utah. It was called the
Okay.
Tropicano.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
not even here. So that was back in
Cool.
1998. Uh, Man, I mean, see, I'm a man of no rhythm, brother. I mean, my family will always make fun because I never really liked music and dancing.
Yeah.
I was a teenager. I like heavy metal, that kind of things, being rebellious and
Right.
stuff.
Right.
So I never really liked dancing, or music. So it was
Yeah.
mostly a way to connect with people. But my point of saying that it was really hard for me because I saw that most of the people that will meet others will do it through dancing, and I just always was sitting and watching, and I didn't know how to interact very
Right.
well. So
Right.
it took me a long time, and I was not. It didn't come easy for me.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I tried learning how to dance on my own. Group classes didn't work. Then I tried paying somebody to teach me and didn't work. It
This
was
was and was this in Utah when you first started? Was
Yeah,
it
yeah. This
okay?
was a
Okay.
trial and error for like 1 year, 1 or 2 years, and
Wow.
and then I picked up a little bit of merengue and cumbia, and then but then after that, then I met this girl, and then I asked her if she was interested in practicing with me. No
Mhm.
other reason but just to learn how to dance.
Yeah.
And then she said yes. So then we'll start going to the salsa clubs and then going to the classes. Then after a while, I talked to this other dude, and he was an instructor at the time. His name is Chocolate
Okay.
from Utah. And then he started teaching us for free on his garage every Saturday. So we did like a couple of group private lessons, and for every private lesson, we would practice all week, man.
Nice, nice.
All week, just to get it, and then go dancing and so on. So, but I mean, that was back in 2002 when I finally started getting it after like so many years of trying, wanting to do it. Um, but after a while, then I met another girl. Her name is Mariela. Then we partnered up too. That's when I started more seriously. Now we compete. My first amateur competition was with her.
Hmm.
Then we won our first professional competition in 2004, and we
Oh,
kept
nice.
competing. And then by
Wow.
then, I started assisting my instructor teaching his group classes. Actually, throughout this time, I will be assisting one of my instructors teaching, and then I learned how to teach that way. But I
And
think
how?
most of the reasons why. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I said, how long did you say to yourself, I want to compete? Like, how long after you've been learning? Was it a year after you struggled trying to learn how to dance and finally getting it and getting more classes, partnering with other girls and figuring out, okay, I want to compete? Like, how long was that process? Was it like a year, 2 years into it?
It probably was like a year, and actually it wasn't
Yeah.
that long. After I got that girl, it
Yeah.
was probably like 6 months because then
Okay.
having that one person that I could just practice all the time
It helped. Right.
helped
Okay.
helped me get
Right.
ahead.
Okay. Right.
So after partnering up for like 6 months, then I switched partners, but we will still be friends.
Yeah.
Actually competing against her to on that competition, but it wasn't that long. I think I always had the drivency to excel. That's just part of my characteristic. I wanted to do better. I wanted to,
Yeah.
if I was gonna do that run, I wanted to be really good. So
Right.
it was, in my case, it was against my odds because I never felt very coordinated, man. It was really hard. I will
Right.
videotape myself, and you know how we are.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
like the hardest critics.
Yeah.
I will
Yep.
watch it over and over,
Yeah.
edit
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and so, but yeah, man. Then after that, then I started doing the group classes with my instructor. Then I just decided, this was back in 2005.
Hmm.
I wanted to do this for a living, so I quit my job and I started doing more group classes in Utah and so on. And
Nice.
then I met after that I met SP Hernandez
Hmm.
in one of the late congresses. We became friends, and then she opened the door for me. So we
Nice.
partnered up. I moved from Utah to Orange County, and then
Okay.
she's the reason why I started doing this more in a professional way because we started kind of competing, and then she formulated a working plan for both of us to work at a dance studio. We got hired, and then that was the beginning of my professional, real profession, because now I was getting paid to do it for a living.
Right. Right.
But yeah, man, I mean, the main reason why I did the dancing was more like a social survival, man. I was very lonely when I got here in the US. I have, at 18, it's almost like you friends, your almost
Yeah.
all your childhood and teenagehood where you bond with people is already past. So everything
Yeah.
was mine. And then kind of did it in order to feel like connected with people. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so successful at what I do, because I draw from my experience to get people not to feel alienated when it comes to dance, to understand that it can be a simple way. You know, it was so hard for me, and I'm the kind of guy that everything has to. I'm always asking questions about how to do this, why is
Right.
this, why is that, and so on. So
Right.
because I'm just like that. So I used that to break everything down, so that way people don't have to struggle as much as I did, learning how to dance, enjoying dancing, and also meeting other people. I make it easy for them. They come to the classes. I
Right.
make sure I introduce them to each other. I say hello to each other personally. I'm trying to be there all the time, even if I'm not teaching. I'm making sure the instructors are teaching the well, there's no correct way, but the way I teach, making sure that they're following the format, and it works, man. So I got a lot of people coming to me, you know how dancing changes people's lives.
It does. It does.
So that's
Wow.
that's the that's the fast tracks version of it.
That's incredible that at one point you just came here and you did it out of social survival, just to learn how to dance, to meet people, which is I never knew that about you, because when I met you, the first impression I was like, holy shit, this guy could dance. And to know that background, that just like everyone else that gets into this type of dancing, it takes some time. Not everyone is just so talented, of just so much rawness that they know that that skill that you developed took a lot of hard work. And that was my first impression when I first saw you. I was like, wow, this guy could dance. And to know that backstory, that in the beginning
Yeah.
in Utah for a year, it was tough.
Yeah, this brother, this that's one of the misconceptions sometimes my students have, and me drawing from that, my story kind of helps in understand that it is achievable, because this is not talent that I was born with. I struggle with it, man.
Yeah.
Even to this day, man. How long I've been doing this for a living? Since 2006, but I
Yeah.
started dancing back in 2000. Trying it, we're talking about 20 years, man. Even to this day, I don't identify. I struggle with the concept that I'm a dancer. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that?
I can't imagine that.
Well, is
Mhm.
I'm self-conscious. I'm
Right.
always like most people, I think
Right.
we all are. But
Right.
I'm very, very insecure when it comes down to. So to this day, I continue to practice. And I think it's a curse and a blessing, because the curse is I wish sometimes I could be just like free and dance and not care and everything. But the reality is that I do care.
Right.
But because of that I do care, I continues to pursue improving myself, which allows me to keep becoming a better dancer, and also allows me to have more knowledge to pass it on to my students as well.
Right.
But I'm saying that it's not an identity for me. It's not like, man, this was such a handed down the talent for me. It was hard for me to develop it, but that shows that anybody can do it. It just takes harder work. That's it.
What's really impressive is that you quit your job at one point when you were
Yeah.
in Utah, and you just moved to Orange County just because was it a person said, hey, come down to Orange County, we could start something here. And to do that right off the bat, it takes a lot of courage to just leave that hourly and just to go and do something from the beginning like that.
That was a bold move, man, because
It was.
I remember I had this connection with this club called Mambo. So the owner
Hmm.
was really nice to me. And the place where I was living, I was renting a room. The basement, it was completely empty. So I asked the owner, the guy was renting me the room, could put a couple of mirrors there. And I made like a little dance studio, and I will have my group classes between them and the other club. And then, so that's when I was like, I took a leap of faith, really. I wanted to do that. I wanted to do this for a living. It was my dream to one day have my own dance studio, like most dancers do.
Right.
And then
Right.
I just quitted my job, and I was like, you know what? If this is the path, God, help me walk through it, just guide me. And then I'm a big believer in God, and you know, things started opening up. And then I remember I used to kind of print like postcards, like a whole bunch of flyers. And
Right.
I would
Right.
take them all over the city. I was shy, so I had there was a friend of mine. Her name is Tammy. She was one of my assistant kind of friend
Yeah.
dancer, and then she will go and put it on the business. Like asking if we can just leave flyers. And then actually, that was before Google, before anything. So,
YouTube, all that.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. So people will actually come with a flyer, and found out about the classes, the group class that I was doing. And as things started developing in Utah, then I just had this opportunity to move to LA. And LA has always been the place where you come to for dancing, for training. I will always come to LA and the Congress, the classes and everything. So when I met SP at the LA Congress, she was already a well-known dancer for me because I used to watch her videos on the Mayan competition with David, the boxer routine and
Yeah.
everything. So
Right. Right.
to me, she was somebody that I looked up, and then she was a very savvy businesswoman. So when she showed me that she was teaching these many private classes over there, and then she was doing it on her own, then I took another leap of faith and asked her, "Do you want to be my dance partner?" And she said, "Oh, that'd be good, but then
Right.
you will have to move over there." And then I did. Then I left things behind in Utah. And then I did that. But
Nice. 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 And then you started doing the group classes, and you started doing that for quite some time. I remember seeing you competing, and then I started to see you doing more of your classes started to grow, as the months and it got to a point where you started to create bigger classes and different types of projects as well, which is really
yeah,
nice to see, you know?
my thing is always been kind of like growing, building a community, and
Yeah.
that message got a little bit more honed, more polished as I mature myself more into kind of what my role into was between doing something for a living and doing something that was meaningful for the community.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as I mature into that, then the concept developed more into different things to help that to happen. Doing the pool parties, the party buses,
Yeah.
the group classes, the parties, and then everything kind of to me made sense that to made it easy for people to bond, not just to come, have them pay the fee and then leave. I try to
Right.
always make it personable, and because of that, they do that to the other people. They see you doing a certain behavior, and they start replicating that. My instructors, they do with the students, and the students do it among themselves. The fact that they introduce themselves to each other, or they acknowledge somebody that is new and stuff like that. You get me?
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
So yeah, man.
That's awesome, man. And
Yeah,
you started, when did you start you had an event, a social in Orange County that you started. How long have you been rolling that event before this whole coronavirus stopped everything? You were doing it
the
on a Fridays, right?
Friday nights has been for
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 years now.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, 3 or
Awesome.
4 years. Yeah. Before
Wow.
that, I did this one nightclub, the Mario, for on Fridays for a full year too.
Yeah.
So yeah, the social has been that for a while. I was doing it
And
once a month, and then I started doing it every Friday.
nice. Tell me about that event that you put together where you take everyone to a bus and you go to like Puerto Nuevo or you go somewhere. Like, tell me a little bit about that. That's kind of
Sure.
cool.
Well, yeah. Well, every concept that kind of comes in, this actually was the idea of one of my
Yeah.
students and a friend of mine who did that once. And
Okay.
then he told me what he did, and he told me, "Oh, you should do it. You should do it." And I was like, you know what? I kind of kept fighting it not to do it because I didn't see the I didn't see how that will fit my business model. But then
Right.
I gave it a try, and man, it totally did. People actually bonded. You spend a whole day with the same group. Even if you
Yeah.
don't know anybody, you're bound to make friends. And then we go to Puerto Nuevo, we eat over there, and then we
Yeah.
dance. And then once we get to Ensenada, we also dance again, and then drinks and stuff like that. So that started being a concept that I was doing once a year, and every
Hmm.
time I did it, it sold out. And then I was like, I'm gonna try twice a year, and then sold out again. And then
Nice.
the format right now is 3 times a year. I do it for Valentine's weekend, Memorial Day weekend was supposed to be this Saturday, and then
Right.
for Labor Day weekend.
Okay. Okay.
So
And how
it's
long have you
fun.
been? How long have you been doing that? For how long have you been doing that? For a year? 2 years?
We've been doing it. No, yeah, we've been doing for like at least a good 6 or 5 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Every time you post the picture, you just see everyone so freaking happy and
oh yeah,
everyone's
yeah, yeah,
having
yeah.
so much fun within the
Yes.
group. So so people can just, what is it, like 20 to 30 people? They all get into a bus and then you drive to Puerto Nuevo to
Yeah,
Ensenada, and as a group, everyone gets to know each other. Everyone dances.
yeah.
Did you guys dance at a club or what?
No,
What?
we do it on the street, you know. I mean,
That's
we
awesome.
go, yeah, we do in the street. We pick up, I usually pick up a restaurant that has a patio. And then when
Yeah,
we dance, and then actually people, the locals come and join in and we all dance in. It's fun, man. It's just fun.
that's
But
awesome.
yeah, and actually the bus is about 54 people. And then one time we actually took two buses. So it was like 100 people, man. That
Wow,
was one of
wow,
the best.
wow.
That was crazy.
That's awesome. So, and you usually have a Valentine's, Memorial Day weekend, and Labor Day, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So dude, how has this whole coronavirus has affected your business? Because right now everything is stopped. We're starting to see a little opening, but I mean, it's a tough time for every dancer. Like my heart goes out to yourself, to everyone out there that that promotes, that teaches. How have you been trying to overcome this?
Well, brother, I'm gonna tell you. To me, it's been a blessing
Yeah,
because I'm spending a lot of time with my family.
yeah,
We, me and my wife, we get along really well. But it's been a time to get back to what it was really important. What is important, you know, because sometimes you get so busy with all the stuff, with the work and everything that this time to stop and then like to be grateful and then to actually enjoy family is been the best for me. I
yeah,
mean, I we live also in a country that has a lot of resources, so I'm thankful for that.
yeah,
So we didn't struggle too either. I mean, my dad always taught me not to have debt, so I don't have major debt and anything. And then I save money, so always prepare for an emergency. And this comes,
yeah,
the
yeah.
biggest emergencies of all. So we're good, man.
That's awesome.
I'm not struggling in anything, but I'm not. I'm just gonna say that like now I have my little routine at home with my girls. Sometimes we go and walks, hiking. I take my bike with my little girl, and then we do a little mountain biking. She on top of it. Uh, I'm still learning new moves, so I got a little routine down for me for new
Cool.
moves that I want to practice. So I practice. I try to practice every day, learning to play the guitar, the congas. I got a friend
Nice.
of mine who let me borrow the congas. I'm not good, great, but I like it. I like
Yeah,
to play, and I got so.
that's
And
awesome.
then but the school is closed, obviously, like most businesses. I don't know how. I don't wanna. I wouldn't like to do anything else, but I think the nature of people. I think the nature of people, how we are being social, is the biggest pull that we have. People want to get together, and
They do. I agree.
that's the problem because
Yeah,
I see being the human beings as we are, we're gonna get back to that no matter what because
true.
it's a survival need.
Yeah,
Um, it's just when it's gonna happen. I don't know. I just don't want to do anything else for a living, and I don't think I'm gonna have to.
yeah.
But I know a lot of people are doing the online videos and stuff like that. I think there's so much of that even on YouTube that I just don't do it myself.
Right.
But also my thing is always been more than just the instructional part of it. It's been people actually coming together, meaningful connections. So that
Right.
doesn't really go into my business. So unless I'm doing that, I'm not gonna. You get me? It has to be for
Makes
me. It has to
sense.
be, about instruction, the dancing. It has to be
Yeah.
about community. And it has to be about fun. And I don't think it's much fun dancing on yourself on the living room, even though it's the best we can do right now. But I'm saying for my own self, for my own
Right.
thing, for what I
Right.
do, and just
Right.
not doing anything online or anything classes like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
but eventually, I think we're gonna get back to it. I'm just concerned about the health.
It's true.
Uh,
I
uh,
think, yeah, I think it'll eventually slowly start to open up. So I think everyone will slowly get back to what they were doing, which I think is is coming. So not sure when that's going to happen, but I know
yeah,
eventually it will. You know, and
I think like I'm saying, the biggest is a big pull. The social
yeah,
is, to me, it's almost like it's like a survival. It's like eating, like sleeping.
right. It's true.
It's a need, and
Yeah,
people that live alone, they go crazy or depressed. They start thinking about killing yourself. It's
it's
crazy,
true.
So between that and the logic that it means that if you don't want to get sick, you don't get close to people. I think the biggest pull is to be social. That's why people are frustrated. They want to get out. I don't think the frustration is not so much about working, even though people want to work, because that's another thing. When you don't have money
Right.
to provide, or the security to have a roof under, that's man, that shit is real. But I'm saying that the between, I think for people it's more important to be outside and doing things with other people
Yeah.
than to
It's
do,
just it's in our nature. We want to be social. It's just the way we are. You know, it's
yeah.
just the way we are. And and you also did you also started a pool party as well, right? How long
Yeah,
was
the pool party has been happening for one,
a few years now?
yeah, a few years. Yeah. We do it during the summertime, once a month during summertime, or twice a month sometimes, depending. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
but not always. We had a great response. It's something. It's dancing outdoor with drinks.
Yeah.
Sunny California. People, I mean, was not fun about that.
Exactly. You actually created like a little scene because you have a nice little scene in Orange County where you kind of developed, and when I think of Orange County, I think of yourself and I think of like Luis. You guys both have worked so hard to really develop that scene. I mean, you have the pictures you put of the pool parties in the summer. I see so many people. The event that you do on Fridays, boatloads of people. Your classes are just filled with so many people wanting to learn, and then the trip to Puerto Nuevo or Ensenada, it's just you have over like 100 people, over 100, just having fun, and
Yeah.
to kind of to look back at your journey and look to where you're at today, it's freaking amazing, man. It's just that what can you say to somebody out there that really wants to follow that path and start a business, whether it's in dancing, whether it's in any other, industry? What kind of advice would you give them?
Hey, just it's. I think you have to follow what you are passionate about, man. And
Right.
I'm gonna
True.
tell you, man, I'm not passionate.
True.
I don't think I'm so passionate about dancing as much as I'm passionate about bringing people together. You understand?
Right.
That really is where my passion is healing people and helping people to show them that is a brighter side of things.
Right.
Because a lot of people that came to my classes, people that with depression, lost
Right.
a job,
Right.
broken relationships, and they needed something. Most people, I had great stories. That people that come forward tell me how much this changed their lives, and that's what I'm passionate about. The passing on, reaching out the hand, building the community, healing through dancing, more than dancing itself. So
Right.
after, I think in my following that thing of myself, that passion is what allowed me to create this. You know what I'm saying? So the dancing part is fun, but the community part is where, to me, is where connection happens. where things are more meaningful, you know, because fun and dancing you can find it anywhere. But I follow your passion, man, because I just I think that's the you don't feel like you're really doing so much, like you're working, you know, you're just enjoying what you do. And that's
Right.
it, man.
Right.
That's it. I think at the beginning I was doing the for the wrong reasons, you know. I think when not the wrong reasons, but not reasons that were gonna be so like fulfilling me as much. But you know,
Yeah.
I had the same desires of competing, being a
Right.
world champion, and
Right.
getting my name out there and everything. But after that, you keep chasing, chasing, and chasing because there's also people you gotta know that as much as you chase being a champion and everything, there's also people right behind you. The moment you let your guard down, people are gonna surpass you eventually. You
Good
understand?
point. Good point. Yeah.
So
Very good point.
your name gets buried down the glory of the new person. You understand?
Yeah.
And you start fading unless you keep up. And that's tiring, man.
Yeah.
That's so. After I realized that, I was like, you know, I just gotta be doing something more meaningful. And then I kind of stopped doing that. I did that for my own self
Growth.
gain growth, you know,
Yeah.
my
Right.
credentials, and then I focus on this other side that were like more had more meaning for me. You know, so I
That's
kind of
awesome.
stopped pursuing the shiny, and then I start pursuing more my passion. You know,
Yeah.
so that's what I think is.
That's awesome, man.
And you also gotta find what is your strength. My strength was that. You know, the people's strengths are different. You know, but
Yeah. Right. Makes a lot of that's very deep. That's profound. That's yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
but
Well,
the other thing is over here in Orange County, I think we without really trying it, we did develop a way in which, for example, you got people like me and David Nieto that works
mhm.
with a lot of beginners, newcomers. So we are creating a pool base of people that are eventually going to go out, leave the classes, and then start going dancing other places. You know,
Right.
so I'm one of the ones that is filling up the clubs, and then the clubs is the one that maintains the people that I want to do this for a lifestyle. Obviously, I don't have the resources or the strength, the energy, or even the talent to be doing nightclubs, you know, all the time.
Right. That's tough.
So
Takes a
then
lot
you
of
got
work.
police, you got regional mics, and then you got the people doing social stuff that
Yeah.
provides that need. You know what I'm saying? And then
Right.
so I create a base, and then they maintain the base. So that works. You know.
That's awesome.
So
Esteban, looking back, when you look back from the beginning to today, who would you say inspired you as a dancer? Who really inspired you?
inspire me as well. My first my first when I was practicing with Mariela, she's the
Uh-huh.
my second dance partner. She's in Utah. She actually has her own dance academy over there.
Nice.
And now she competes and everything. She's great. She trains people and everything. But anyways, going back to we she had a tape for Salsa Brava, a videotape. So I learned all the combinations there, man, with Luis and Joby.
Okay.
I digested that thing. I remember we will watch it for hours and practice. I learned the whole videotape. So I'll say
Wow.
Luis was one of my first big influences, you know. And then after that, I got more tapes, and the second tape was like Josie Neglia with Rogelio Moreno.
Yeah.
And everything that was so hard to come by that every time that I got like a tape or new thing, like the instructional, I digested that thing, man. I ate it
Wow.
up. I watch it and practice it. And so my biggest, influence has always been the LA area, you know. But I mean, through Luis, Rogelio, and eventually I came over here. I admire a lot of Christian. His dancing and fun, you know, he's very carefree when he dances, and it's been the LA area people. You know, another person that really influenced me big was his name is Orville Small. He's
Hmm.
a Canadian dancer. this black dude that did the Maya doing the blade routine. That to me was one of the best routines I've ever seen, and that kind of got to me. So when got to meet him and talk to him and stuff, that to me was very surreal. So these are kind of, I
Wow.
think, to
Wow,
this
that's
day,
awesome.
yes. And then today, there's the one that I like the most is Oliver Pineda. He's to me
Mhm.
one of the best, more rounded dancers. But I
Nice.
think there's so many great dancers now, man. It's just
Yeah.
amazing.
There's so many. There's so many. It's nice to hear that long list of talented, legendary dancers that you named that were inspiring to you. I recently had Luis on the podcast. He said something so memorable that I'll never forget. That you probably would blow you away as well. You've been in the salsa scene for so long, and we in the conversation we had was about just the way how the way some dancers how they can easily inflate their egos to the point where they are not as nice as they once were, and it tends to happen, I think, with every scene, not just in salsa, but I think just in every dance scene. There always tends to be somebody that kind of thinks they're a little bit all that. And Luis said something so profound. He said, it's so easy to be nice. I was like, wow. And he's absolutely right. It's so easy to be nice to people. You know? So that's my biggest takeaway from him. I was like, wow. You know?
Yeah, I think.
Crazy.
Well, I don't know, man. I got my own saying on all that, but I think it's easy for people to be nice when it comes from the heart.
Good point.
What I'm saying,
That's good point. Yeah.
but it's
Very well
not.
said.
Some people don't. They're still working on it. I think
Yeah.
we all hear. We all hear. I'm gonna tell you something. We all hear, and we all
We're all the work in progress.
exactly work in progress.
We're
Yes, we
all,
all
we're
are work
all,
in progress.
everyone is a
I
work in
remember,
progress.
I remember on my day when I started dancing and
Yeah.
then getting ahead. I thought it's part of not being mature. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Because I thought myself, oh, I'm all that. I'm the shit. Look, all the girls want to be with me.
Right, right.
And then you think that's all there is, until you grow out of it and you realize the bigger picture that that's really you pass through it. It's a stage, it's a phase, or so on. And most dancers have done that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right.
I don't know one dancer that can tell me that they were not through that phase in which they were like about themselves and egotistical
Right.
and
Right.
thinking everybody. When you
Right.
learn something and then you start getting attention, it's easy to get lured into that.
Right. Right.
But part of maturity is being mature is you look back and then you like smile at it, but then realize that life is more about what you leave behind. Being nice to people, not being nice to people, but
Right.
leaving a footprint. Being a mark. Doing something meaningful.
Right. Right.
But when you see other people, when I see people that are like that, I try just to remind myself, hey, it's easy to judge other people and not remember that you were once that guy. So instead of
Wow.
being all judgmental, just
Wow.
compassionate and be nice to the person, and then be 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 the example that you want to show to others. Just be that. That's it. That's all you can do. And
Wow.
then maybe grab on. They're gonna see that and then try to emulate. Maybe not, but everybody's going through their journey. And then I don't think anybody gets stuck in there. I know
Right.
because eventually life comes down and all that deck of cards that you build up is gonna knock them over, and then you're gonna see what it is. And it's sad because it did happen to me once. Once
Right.
you start competing and when you start being on the spotlight and everything, you're not as shiny as you used to be. So it's not the same. All
Right.
the attention and everything goes into the next shiny object. So
Right.
once you start realizing that, then you really have to do some soul searching and then figure out what you are about and then try to find your identity through that. you
Right.
know so eventually those people they focus on the family or whatever they do. In my case, I focus on
Wow.
my work, which is helping other people and so on. But I
That
think
was that.
everybody's been through that, you know. Everybody's
Yeah,
been through that.
I think what you just said in the last 3 minutes, it's freaking inspiring. I think that it would be very eye opening for a lot of people that would hear that, because that's so deep what you said. It's so profound. It's so true. You know, we all go
Well,
through our own journey, and what you said is spot on. It's amazing.
yeah,
You
it's
know?
just it's dancing. I mean, dancing has that lure, you know, especially when
Yeah,
when you're a good dancer, and
yeah,
then you think that it's all that there is, you know, the attention and everything, but it's just it's smoke, you know,
yeah.
smoke and mirror. That's it.
So, brother, what's next for you? What are your plans as soon as this whole thing starts to die down with the virus and everything start to slowly open up? What are your plans look like for the next year or so?
Well, my we have a good. I got a couple of ones. You know, the first
Okay.
one was the immediate ones was opening Cafe Sevilla. You know that one.
Yep. Did it ever open by the way, or was it shut down before the virus hit?
No, you know, we were supposed to do a grand opening, didn't happen because
Right.
they didn't
Okay.
have all the permits, and then we were
Right.
gonna have the grand opening, second one, and then the
The virus.
following, the week before that, we had to close the school, so everything came down to a halt.
Okay.
But you know, I think we have so much to do that so many more people to help. My thing is gonna be eventually. I got a couple of ideas. Either I gotta open my own place and then build the concept there, but I wanna be a place where we can actually sell drinks and everything. So dance studio, kind of like you know, the Stevens or Granada. You know, something that where we can
Yeah.
actually have the nights up
Right.
and then do that in different parts in Orange County, maybe North Orange County that works.
Okay.
Maybe move to LA, another location down the years, you know, so spread out.
Okay.
And
Nice.
eventually, when that first stage is open, they move out in United States in other cities, you know, that need this. It's
Okay.
about what is that I do that people need, and I do. I'm telling you, man, there's a need for people to come together and connect bigger than their need to learn how to dance.
Yeah.
So eventually, this is a double win, man, because once if we can help people like that, we bring it together, we give them friends, we make them feel significant, and then they have a hobby for life, man. They have fun. So now
Yeah.
they have this plus that. So that's the formula that I use. And because there's a need for that everywhere in the world, I mean, there's no stopping for this. You know, I feel like I'm just people think what I do is big or anything. It's not even to me. It's not even the there under the snare. The is nothing, you know, compared to the big scope of what this actually does. You know, and I'm feeling like if I keep pushing this concept, we can reach more people to help, and then them they people that comes with this message they tend to pass it on. You understand what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
bring their friends to us, or they influence other people in a positive way. So it's
Right.
about moving it forward. So that's that, man. I think
That's awesome.
I'm not gonna stop. I mean, I'm gonna be like 100 years old, and probably I'm gonna still be doing the same thing. Not probably teaching, but you know what I'm saying, passing on the message,
Yeah.
training instructors, and training my staff to do the same things of what I do. You know, and I got great instructors, man. I most of my instructors they've been my students. Isabel, we got Carla,
No.
Siu, Juan has been with me for like 3, 4 years.
Wow.
And then Curtis, there's so many that they even pass through. I think the Jenny, I think there's like about 10 instructors that work with me, you know, and
Nice.
they understand kind of what I'm trying to do, and
Right.
that's why they're so passionate. They give their all when they come to Osisasa. So what is next, man? Is just continue making it bigger, passing it on, and trying to influence in a meaningful way. You know what I'm saying?
So you're planning on is to continue opening the studios that you have, and then you're planning on. Are we looking at another grand opening for Cafe Sevilla in Costa Mesa sometime in the future?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
still in the
Okay.
works, and
Cool.
I think eventually I think eventually I want to be Cafe Sevilla. I want to be the place where we can have the nightclub, but the class at the same time, like I'm saying.
Yeah, that'd be
But
great.
that's a few years down the road
Yeah.
is something, but
Yeah.
all that is happening, man. I'm telling you, man. People want to
Awesome.
get together, so that's gonna prevail, and we'll see how long it takes, man. Until then, I'm enjoying my time with my family. I'm
Awesome.
enjoying so a little bit, man, because I'm one guy against three girls, man. So you do the math. I think I'm hanging by the thread. I'm thinking sometimes I think it is so great, but sometimes I'm thinking I'm not surprised I'm dead already,
Hey, brother, so that's so funny. So, where can people find you, dude? If they want to go to take a class when you open up, or take one of those trips to freaking Ensenada, where can people find you on social media? Shoot you a message.
The my page is Osi Salsa,
Mhm.
facebook.com/ excuse me, Osi Salsa. My Instagram also Osi Salsa, and also my website is estebanconde.com. It's an
Cool.
easy to remember.
Awesome, brother. Well, dude, let me conclude it with I loved your story. You've been an inspiration since the beginning, and to hear your story from when you came from Utah to all your hard work to where you've gotten today, it's been just a sheer inspiration to me, and I'm sure to a lot of people that will hear this podcast, man.
Thank you, brother. I'm happy to hear. It feels good to be appreciated, and I mean, there's more to do. We just keep doing it.
All right, brother. Great having you, brother, on the show.
All right, man. Thank you for having me. All right, we'll see you around, brother.
All right, brother.
Hey,
Hey, I'm gonna be at the pool party soon.
all right.
I
Well,
keep missing them, man. I keep missing them.
I'll believe it when I see it. All right.
All right, brother.
All right.